Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
A message from McAfee. Wondering why the post office is texting you or why you owe thousands of dollars in toll fees? Because someone's trying to scam you. The good news? McAfee can help. With McAfee's award-winning scam detection, it's easy to tell what's real and what's fake over text, in your inbox, and online. If they're
You want a free gift?
Seriously? If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
A duck?
Yep, that's what it is, a duck.
But I want a puppy. I don't want a dumb old duck.
Well, look, pal, I didn't bring it home for a pet.
Then why'd you bring it?
See, I'm just trying to find a home for this poor stupid duck. I thought maybe that farmer would take it. You know, the one that comes around and sells us all those vegetables I can't afford?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It's another episode of the Buena Vista Boys. Today's movie is a wild one, and I will say that from a number of standpoints, right? But it is the $1 Million Duck. Now, this is one of those films. I was trying to explain to my wife, like what this movie was about, and I'm like, basically, without telling you the movie, because who wants to hear that third hand, right? Even though that's the point of the show. Without telling you the point of the movie, it's like one of those really famous live action Disney movies that nobody's seen, but everyone's heard of. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
No, I've
like
never
most
seen
of these
it.
things.
And I do think it is one of those things where it's like you scroll it through a list in the Disney archives and you're like, $1 Million Duck.
Yeah, dude.
What the hell? Because then they also have The Happiest Millionaire.
Which is the sequel. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I
Which I want to put off as long as I can, because after the $1 Million Duck yesterday, it just happened to come up in Disney Plus, and it's 2 hours and 50 minutes.
And 1.5 or 5.0?
5.0. It's 3 hours.
Okay, we're not doing it.
No, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
Ban it from the list.
Okay.
We're not doing it.
No, we're taking off. No, that's too much. It's too much because number one, even pushing like 2 hours for some of the movies we've watched, those are long shows. Those are 2 hour shows for us to do.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting through almost 3 hours. I'm not sitting through JFK, Disney's version of JFK for anything.
No, I totally agree. I'm like, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth us to have to watch it. You have to write it up and then talk about it. It's not that good of a movie, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. It's not like $1 Million Duck, but what are you going to do, man?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's good. I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Things that we're not going to be doing.
Put it off the list.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, $1 Million Duck, for all it had inside of it, it was pretty cute. It was one of those, again, cute kind of movies that I would never have watched otherwise. And now I sort of feel closer to whoever age group grew up watching this. It was like 1971.
Yes, it was 1971. And I watched it with an 8-year-old. And so me trying to explain why these characters acted the way they did was like impossible, because she's not used to media like this, like where every adult is an idiot who falls down or falls in water.
Yeah. Or almost does like the like a comic double take, where it's like they say something in one direction, then they go, that made me no, I didn't mean it. No, I meant this. Yeah. Not everyone's brain dead.
No. And when we get to Sandy Duncan's character, boy, her and I had a field day.
I have a lot to say about Sandy. I think she's a great actress.
Lovely woman.
She's very cute. She holds the camera, as they say. But that voice, I don't know if she was putting on an affect. It was an affectation.
Yeah.
But it was obnoxious and annoying. And I felt like I wanted to just ask her if she was okay.
Yeah, this movie did her dirty a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? I didn't cut any clips of it, but she did have some banger lines. Yeah. She had some really good comedic lines, and her timing was good. She was like the straight man, I guess. But unknowingly, she played it well. She played the character, from what I'm presuming, well.
Yeah, she was like Gracie from what is it, like Burns and Allen? Like she's Gracie Allen. She has a Gracie Allen character. Like, you remember that Gracie Allen? Like she was like,
that's way out of my age group, dude. And I'm older than you.
She's funny. Like but she had that same affect where it's like she said something really funny because she's taking things literally because she's so dumb. But then she also has those moments where she's like so dumb she's clever.
Yes,
Sandy had a lot of those in this movie.
Yeah, there was one where someone was like, "Oh, I don't even have your address," and she's trying to leave. She goes, "Oh, that's okay, I have it."
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. Also, it's one of those dumb as hell, but very funny. Yeah, like anyway.
Oh, don't worry, I have it.
Okay, good. All right. Well, there you go. Without further ado, Matt, I think we should get into the $1 Million Duck. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it. It actually is a bit of a treasure. Yeah, I get it. Is it gold?
Hooper suspects something. Did you tell him anything?
You forgot to kiss me.
Answer me, did you?
I haven't talked to him.
Well, how about Jimmy?
Yes, I talked to him. He's our son, remember?
So let me tell you, Matt, after like 14 movies or whatever it is, I don't actually really know anymore.
Yeah.
I can honestly say no single opening song pissed me off more than this one. Because if you like whimsy, long pauses, and kazoos, man, have I got a song for you. This is immediately what you get hit with. Here it is right here. Oops, I don't want to do that again. There you go. That's the song. I will say the drum beat, sick.
Yeah.
Sick. It's kind of like a jazzy funk thing. I loved it. That drum beat was great. Kazoos, that's now 4th on my list of things that shouldn't be. Babies crying, alarm clocks, dogs barking, which, spoiler alert, there's a lot of, and kazoos. These things should not be around anywhere. So after that mess, and also, by the way, the intro, it's really cute. It's, just a classic blue background with the Walt Disney Productions, lettering, and all the credits are, in there. And then there's an animated duck who comes in and, waddles along to the beat of the kazoo and like puts an egg down and then leaves and then comes back and and stacks all these eggs and then comes back and uprights them. And then it turns into, the $1 million, number.
I like the cool thing at the end where he throws the couple of commas. Chuck some commas behind him. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was cute. It's just the kazoo bugged me. It ruined it for me. I can't do it. So after that mess, we can pull the cotton out of our ears to stop the brain fluid from leaking. And we find our lead character, Albert Dooley, flipping through the mail, which, of course, is full of past due notices. As he leans back in his chair, he glances up at his diploma and has a flashback of being chosen as the most likely to succeed. Clearly that didn't work out, is what we're, meant to gather from this.
Yeah.
His little boy, Jimmy, pulls him out of his daydream and tries to cute face his way into convincing his dad to let them buy a puppy for the low, low price of $50, which is about $400 today.
I know. I heard $50 and like I choked a little bit. I was like, for that thing? No way.
No way, bro.
No, that's by the ounce. That's still impossible. Like $50.
All this while this is like you can go take a penny to the Walgreens and get change still. Like that's what
cutting it with
I'm listening to Bram Stoker's Dracula on audiobook because why not? And
awesome.
There's a point in there where like Mina Harker, the one of the main characters, is like, so I went down and I gave the man a penny and got my change, and I was like, what are you talking about? What is change from a penny? What are you talking
getting that
about?
hay penny?
Yeah, dude. Anyway, that was pretty funny. Yeah. So while Jimmy is sitting there going, please, Daddy, can I please have this puppy? The kid who's selling the puppy, who's like a little taller, a little older boy, red hair, staring at Albert, just absolutely staring, stone-faced, unchanged, doesn't say a word, doesn't blink, doesn't move. And Albert's just like kind of intimidated by this kid, which I found very funny. It was a very cute scene. It worked really well because you could tell he's almost going to say yes, I feel like, because this kid is very menacing.
Yeah, and there's no backstory for this kid. They don't even introduce him. There's
no name.
He's not kid who lives down the street. He doesn't talk. He just mean mugs him the whole time.
Yeah, dude.
I was taken aback at what was happening.
So Jimmy runs upstairs because, of course, Dad says no. Dad's the big bad guy, so I got to run upstairs. And we cut to Mom in the kitchen, frantically mixing up some kind of batter. I don't know what she's doing, but it does come out later. And she's kind of listening to some groovy tunes.
Cinnamon. 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 I just... Oh, cinnamon. Mustard. Curry powder. And, garlic. Garlic. Must be a simpler way to make applesauce.
I just want to pause it real fast because the scene is long, but it's good. And I kind of want to, it introduces a lot of stuff. So I want to break it up a little bit. So what you heard there was, she's in the kitchen and she's listening to her groovy tunes. And, she adds cinnamon to her bowl. And while her back is turned to put the cinnamon away, the fan on the counter blows onto the cookbook and flips a couple of pages without her knowing. So she comes back and she starts adding spices that don't go into what I presume is a sweet batter at this point, which is mustard, curry powder, which also 1971, California, you have curry powder just as part of your spices, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Big Indian food rage of the late 1960s.
Sure, dude. And garlic. Now, this has actually happened to me on more than one occasion where I have been reading the wrong recipe halfway through and added stuff into like a bread dough that doesn't go there or, whatever I'm making. So I 100% feel for her. Like, I get it.
I owe you an apology then, because I looked down at Quinn and I said, this would never happen to anyone. This woman is an idiot.
It can happen to me. If it happens to me, it can happen to you.
I go, how can you be reading something with this list of things and then all of a sudden there's a whole new page? The page is laid out completely different and you just keep reading.
Because you are locked in. You're just like, what's next? Now, I will say I've never done this where sometimes I've caught it where I go like, oh, this doesn't go in here. And I forget what it is. I don't have any specific thing, but like you just turn your brain on and you go like, wait a minute. Yeah. That doesn't go. So then we hear she hits us with the line, there must be a simpler way to make applesauce. And immediately I lost all sympathy for her. I mean, because garlic, and she just puts it in. She goes, garlic? Yeah. Oh, sure. Mustard? Yeah, that's great. What are you doing, dude? Are you kidding me? Whatever.
But like, do you appreciate the joke, right? She's running around and everything. The joke is so solid.
It's good because you don't know what it is. And like, they sometimes in cooking scenes in movies and TV shows, they do kind of this where it's like a mystery of what they're making and they kind of make it into a joke. But this was really good because you had no idea. You go from cinnamon to mustard to curry to garlic. Like, what is this? Yeah. And then she hits the line and I'm like, wow, that's pretty funny. She did a great job doing it, but whatever. Anyway, so Dean walks in, who is Albert, who plays Albert, and
Dean Jones.
Dean Jones, baby, and then we get the rest of the scene, which I have to put in.
Sure.
Yes, dear. Oh, that was Herman and the Purple Cow.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Katie, we're going to have another talk about economizing.
Oh, okay, Albert. First, I just want you to guess what I'm cooking. Okay, 3 guesses.
Later, okay?
Try, plum pudding.
Plum pudding.
Wrong. Try applesauce.
Katie, look, now we have to economize.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm making homemade applesauce with apples off our very own tree.
That's fine,
Here, I
darling.
want you to taste it. Tell me if you think it's too ingredient.
It's good. It's really good.
Okay, so there's a few things. Number one, she goes, here, taste this, and let me know if it's too ingredient. Which I really like. It definitely plays her character as being stupid.
Yeah.
Because she can't even think of the word of what it could possibly be.
Yeah.
But Albert's reactions, Dean Jones' reactions in here, perfection. This scene is awesome because the worry and concern for what he's eating on his face sits like that applesauce probably is sitting in his belly to this day. And I think he's been dead for 2 decades. Like,
I know. I feel like they did have to give him something actually disgusting. Like, he's like, I'm a good actor, but I'm not that good.
yeah, dude. It was, anyway, he hit it. He hit it out of the park. Fantastic reactions. That's what happens. He's a machine.
Yeah.
His wife decides that the best place to cut expenses is his lunch and not like the dress shop that Albert is talking about. And so the next day, she sends him off to work with a bagged lunch. Albert throws his beater Cadillac, I guess, or whatever, in reverse, spewing smoke and backfiring all over the place. Like a apartment, like a room to rent place, like 2 doors down. And then drives off, almost T-boning a couple of beatnik type kids and yet another modded dune buggy type deal speeding through the neighborhood.
Yep. We got ourselves another dune buggy, folks.
Yep. Can you tell what the popular thing amongst the kids was in the 60s and 70s, according to the Walt Disney Company?
Right. Yeah. If you have a McVitie working on your movie, you're getting a dune buggy.
Yep, absolutely. So Arnold arrives at his office. Wait, is it Albert or is it Arnold? Because once again, I've intertwined those 2 names. One is real and one is not.
Albert Dooley.
All right, it's Albert. So Albert arrives at his office and we see on his door that he works in the Psycho-Bio Research Lab, which is stated as being, quote, for the investigation of animal behavior and intelligence.
Oh, yeah.
Inside are cages and cages of various animals. We see chickens. We hear a pig, maybe a turkey in there. I have no idea. As he dumps his lunch into the trash, he says hi to a chimp called Clyde and a duck called, well, Mr. Duck. He gets his lab coat on, and as he does, Clyde reaches into the trash and pulls out the applesauce. So once again, we have a monkey pulling stuff out of the trash and eating it when they're not supposed to.
Stuff they're not supposed to. Also, his wife just packed him applesauce. That's what he got.
Yes, so that's the thing where she goes like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, don't tip the bag over because the applesauce is on the top or something like that."
Yeah,
and it's only applesauce.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Is like there was no sandwich or chips or anything. She just gave him a plastic container of applesauce. Goes, "Good day." Then she went out and bought new shoes. So is she really that dumb? If he's like, "Hey, we got to cut back," and she's like, "I have an idea. How about I just make you food?" Like, that's actually pretty smart from her point of view, because then she gets to keep buying hats.
Tearing the bag open, he tries some of the applesauce while Mr. Duck looks like he's kind of motioning over to say, "Bro, pass." You know, puff, pass. Which is very funny. This scene is cute because it does look like the duck is talking to the chimp and like flipping its head up, like, "What's up, dude? Give to me." And the chimp's like, "Yeah." He's smiling.
Well, and then the chimp eats it, right? A little bit. Yeah. And he kind of goes, nah.
You're not gonna like this, dude.
You ain't gonna like it, bro.
Regardless, the chimp slides the sauce over and Mr. Duck dives in. And this pleases Albert. Through all of this craziness that's happening in the lab, Albert is telling Mr. Duck that he can't be flunking any more tests because the guy in charge doesn't want a duck around who can't tell a green button from a red one or some such. What are the colors were? I don't remember.
We have no context yet.
Right. So Dr. Gottlieb, who's the doctor in charge, he barges into the room and he tells Albert to get ready for the tests for the day with the animals. And while the doctor wants to test just the chimp, Albert convinces him that the duck might just be a slow learner, so we should try again with the duck. In the lab, humans with white coats on are putting small animals through mazes, having them pull bits of colored string to get through and grab some food at the end of the maze or whatever it is. Gottlieb has Albert put Mr. Duck on some weird, like positive, negative reinforcement machine that plays a buzzer and then a barking dog tape whenever the duck presses the wrong button. And it dispenses food when the correct one is pressed. But we don't even know that to be sure because the duck hits both of the incorrect buttons. First is the car honk, and then the second is the dog barking. Then, at the dog barking sound, he crouches down and lays an egg. So apparently, the duck is not a Mr. Duck, but a Mrs. Duck. So there you go.
Lady Duck.
This sends Gottlieb, who tosses the duck on the floor and storms out. Well, so does the duck, Matt, because as Gottlieb and Albert are arguing, Mr. Duck waddles across the hallway to the radiation room, which is apparently a thing, where two guys are about to conduct a test on some new silicone gobbledygook.
Doctor, you have to admit that's a very interesting reaction. I mean, this duck is a fascinating creature.
Okay, Frisbee, what do we got here? Gamma rays on what?
Testing some new high-resistance silicone oil.
Phenotype?
Yeah.
What is the estimated integrated threshold neutron flux? What do you mean by that?
By what?
Well, you said quack.
Hey, I didn't say quack.
Holy cow! Oh, Professor, is this one of your creatures?
Well, yes. How did she get in there?
You tell me. You almost had fried duck.
Well, is she okay?
Oh, sure, no harm. Just got a little joked.
Oh.
But in the future, would you please keep your friends out of our department?
Yeah, okay.
Basically, they're in radiology, and these two dudes are sitting down at the science stuff computer, which is the only thing the only way I can describe it. There's a bunch of unlabeled buttons and knobs and switches, and there's there's a screen in the middle, and they're like, oh, some silicone, oil based thing or whatever. And
the generator oscillator.
You're right. Yeah. On the fever pitch machine. And on the screen, there's like a spotlight and it's just like going across this table maybe, but it's all black. And there's just test tubes and boiling flasks that have the dry ice in them and they're just boiling. And the thing just goes over them. It's not entirely clear about what is happening. I just thought it was a light or it seems like a weird thing. And then the duck is there and they flip out.
Yeah, it was because they said gamma radiation, which, maybe somebody had heard of having read it like a Hulk comic, but it's basically just a spotlight. They're spotlighting random things on a conveyor belt.
Well,
what is science?
What does he specifically say? This is so good. What is the estimated integrated neutron threshold flux?
Yeah. Also, like,
what are we, David Bowie writing songs by just pulling pieces of paper out of a hat? What are we doing with integrated neutron flux?
Estimated integrated neutron threshold.
Flux.
So,
yeah.
Can we take a moment to also realize they're using gamma radiation? And one, it's in a facility that was open enough that a duck could get in. They're spraying radiation in a room that is unlocked and open, big enough for a duck to slip in there.
Yes,
and then
we can.
two, the duck gets hit with radiation. This is established. And the guy just picks him up and hands him off.
This is what I think too, and I bet you could make a case for Walt Disney thinking that, or at least the Walt Disney Company at this time, because he was long dead. Just thinking scientists are dumb, because if you're blasting things with radiation with your ultra gamma high flux incinerator capacitor, and there's an animal in it, you're not just going to hand that thing off. You need to make sure that it's not radioactive, dog. What are you doing? What is happening? Here, take this back to the Psychobio Research Lab, which I'm sure isn't a thing either. And maybe this will help the duck hit the right button, or maybe it'll just mutate and explode, or radioactive ooze, the toxic Quack Venger. Which, by the way, speaking of Toxic Avenger, have you seen the remake?
No, I haven't seen the new one
with Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, is it crazy?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
I mean, it's still Toxic Avenger, so it's not like the most amazing piece of cinema in the entire universe, but it also has Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood, and it is by far better than it needs to be. It did not need to be as good as it is, and I say that a lot, but this was like really good. It was a really good remake. Happy with it. Fantastic. You should watch it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
You know, why can't I remember his name? The founder of Troma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sid Sperling.
My friend Brandon and I met him one time at a Toxic Avenger 4 screening in Portland.
Hell yeah, dude.
He was really cool. He was walking around. He was like filming everyone while we were we were saying hi to him, and he was like street interviewing us while we were talking to him.
That's cool, dude. That seems it was exactly like that kind of thing.
Yeah, man. He's a crazy cat.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it's good. Well, anyway, Albert takes this duck with the small jolt of radiation home with him. I mean, it's just a small jolt. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And his kid soon takes a liking to it, naming it Charlie. The mom with the very high-pitched voice is asking, why not just get the kid a dog? It would be just as expensive to feed the duck as it would the dog. Now, this lady is a wackadoo.
Not true at all.
Not true at all. Like I don't know if it's just like bad writing or if she's just nuts. Or she just doesn't know. Like if it's one of those kind of things, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, ducks live in parks, like free grass.
Yeah, they literally will just eat grass. You can go buy corn and feed, but dogs get bigger. That's the thing about dogs. They get bigger. Yeah. Ducks are generally, when you bring them home as an adult, they stay that size.
Yep, they're done.
Yeah. Our next scene is nothing but pure chaos with just a dash of classic Disney animal stress. Charlie the duck winds up in the neighbor's pool with the neighbor, Finley, trying to fish the thing out with a pool skimmer. His dog, a large golden retriever, tears through the screen door and chases the duck into the water, which is kind of funny because the duck's in the water. He gets basically beaten out of the water. Then he like waddles up the steps, right? It's a she, but whatever. Forgive me for misgendering the duck. And then like as the duck is waddling up the steps, the dog tears out of the house. The duck slides down the little slide, the pool slide, right? And the dog does the same thing. It was I don't know. It's kind of funny.
I like that whole pool scene. It was weird.
It was funny. It was weird, man. Yeah. Well, and what happens eventually is both Albert and the neighbor Finley go into the pool together there. So now you got the duck, the dog, Albert and Finley in the pool, all flailing around. Everyone's shouting at each other. The dog's barking. The duck is quacking. Sandy Duncan is high pitched doing whatever she's doing. They all escape.
Looking.
And as the dog barks nonstop across the fence at the duck, because it's one of my favorite sounds, it lays not one egg, but two, just like it did at the lab. Now, inside the house, Albert tries to explain things to his wife about why the duck, laid these eggs, the dog bark and whatever, but he can't really get through the thickest, most layer of skull for her. I got some of this scene too. It's just insane. But again,
can't penetrate that wig.
Yeah. But again, Sandy Duncan, professional, straight delivery. You have no idea if she's joking or not. And I kind of like that. It's almost like Betty White vibes in Golden Girls, but less obvious, I guess. It was a good scene. Here it is.
4 eggs, isn't that something?
I don't see how she laid any eggs with that beast barking at her.
It was that beast that caused her to do it.
Oh, now, Albert, they hardly know each other.
No, I mean that...
I know what you mean. Let's don't discuss it in front of our SON.
Yeah, we learn all that stuff in school anyway.
No. It's a conditioned reflex. You see, when the dog barks, the duck lays an egg. I don't know why. It happened once at the lab.
Well, that's not the way my mother explained it to me. Anyway, the important thing is the money we're going to save growing our own eggs.
We're not eating those eggs. I mean, this duck it's strange.
Oh.
No, not that. It's an aberration, a biological mutation.
It is?
Yeah. I mean, that's a chemically mixed up duck. It's even been radiated, and we're not eating those eggs.
Good, then we'll hatch them. Come on, Charlie.
Hey, Albert, is that all right? I mean, hatching them?
Oh, no, of course not. They probably wouldn't hatch anyway. Only thing to do is bury them, which I'll do after Jimmy goes to sleep.
So the more you watch that scene, the more you realize what's so, they're talking about, she thinks that ducks lay eggs after they get impregnated by other ducks, I guess. Right. So she's like, oh, well, that's not how my mom explained it to me, where a dog barks and then you get pregnant like the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
But then he goes, that duck is strange. And she goes, oh, and I'm like, is that a gay joke? Like, are they?
I have no idea. That was such a weird scene to me.
Yeah,
because she was like, oh, like, is there something I'm not getting here?
I think it's that like, 70s euphemism, right? Strange.
She's a lesbian duck.
They're just friends that live together for 20 years and have never married.
I like the fact that he says that's a chemically mixed up duck. Like, and then he's like, and it's been irradiated. Like, there's just like all these different things that just layer in on it. He's like, we're not eating those eggs. No.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, Katie and Albert, of course, discuss whether or not the eggs are edible. Albert says no, they can't hatch them. So the only thing left to do is bury them in the backyard, which of course is what you would do naturally, not throw them away or put them in the garbage disposal and rinse them, but bury them. This man is trying to corner the market on century eggs, I think, in his little suburb. Like, to me, that's just the weirdest thing, but whatever. As he picks them up to dump them in the hole he's just dug, one breaks open, and inside is not a runny, irradiated yolk, but a Cadbury cream-sized egg deal made of solid gold. After a weird, and this is funny because I didn't know I didn't know the payoff to the title yet, right?
Yeah.
So like $1 Million Duck, it's a duck that lays golden eggs. I figured the eggs would come out gold, but I kind of think that having the inside of the egg be gold and the outside look normal, it was really clever. I kind of wish that they maybe did some more, I lost the egg in the sea of normal eggs. We have to smash all these eggs to something like that, like play into like the camouflageness.
Oh, that would have been interesting. Like a big scene where they're smashing eggs and stuff is going everywhere.
Yeah, I think that'd be good, right? But they did something similar later. We'll talk about that. But I thought it was a good gag, and I'm sure the prop department had a great time, trying to figure all that out. So after a weird conversation with Dr. Gottlieb, Albert takes the egg to a metallurgist who breaks down to Albert exactly what's in the thing that he brought in. He's like, I think it's gold. I have no idea. Let's just get it, looked at. And right here, you can kind of tell, like, so Albert is walking up to the metallurgist office or whatever, but it's very clearly on the animation studio lot, because those are the blinds that come from the top, the metal blinds that kind of kick down. Yeah, and that's all. I saw it like the third time when I watched it. I was like, oh, hey, they're just at the studio, man. That's cool. Anyway.
It's free.
Yeah, it made me excited for some reason.
We've run quite a few tests on that metal of yours, Dooley.
Yes, and it's
darndest thing we ever ran across.
But is it?
You won't believe some of this report. It's, it's wild.
Then it's not.
Look here, Dooley. The metal contains traces of D-galacturonic acid. Now, isn't that wild? You know what that is? That's pectin. Pectin has been hydrolyzed under intense heat. Pectin comes from apple peelings.
Applesauce.
No, it's true. And look, it also has a trace of garlic in it.
No, I don't want to hear any more, as long as it's not gold.
What do you mean not gold? It's practically pure gold.
What?
But it has some of the weirdest impurities in it. There's one element we can't even identify, not related to any of the 103 basic known chemical elements. Mr. Dooley, you didn't get hold of a moon rock, did you?
Moon rock, me? No. I've never even been out of California.
Where'd you dig up this gold?
Dig? I didn't dig.
A placer deposit?
Well, yes. It was deposited, you might say. Thank you very much.
I don't understand the moon rock reference. You didn't get a hold of a moon rock, did you? What is the moon full of gold rocks, you idiot?
Yeah.
Just a weird thing to say. I didn't get it.
I also don't understand why because it doesn't come into play later. Spoilers. Why did they talk about the element that they can't even identify?
I don't know.
Why did they even add that in the script? Because it doesn't pay off.
No, and they mention it slightly like later on down the road, but yeah, you're right. It never pays off. I don't know what that was. Also, pectin isn't just in apples. It's in like grapes and stuff like that too. Like it's
in a lot of different things.
Yeah, right. It's the whole thing's wild, dude.
Because it's like it's in anything that can like be gelatinized, I think.
Yeah, under intense heat.
Yeah,
really. All right, man. Whatever, dude. Anyway, Albert gets home and he finds out that his wife has given the duck to Mr. Purdom, the farmer, I believe that was his name, after shaking her vigorously like an animal, you know?
Yeah.
Like he really he grabs her by the shoulder. He's like, where does he live? Where does he live? And she's like, She finally
it reminded me of, what is it? It's a Wonderful Life. And where's the money, you stupid old idiot?
She finally coughs up the address and the whole family tears off to rescue Charlie the duck. Only when they get to the farm, Purdom has put the very plain white duck in a corral with about 100 other very plain white ducks. So again, there's that payoff that I was talking about that I wish happened with the egg, but instead we get it with duck. So
there's multiple times that I had called what was going to happen. This was one of them. I said to my daughter, I go, they're going to go out back and there's going to be like 100 white ducks. And then she goes, what do you mean? Like, you said you haven't seen this movie. And I go, just trust me. They go back there.
Well, and so they go back there. How are they ever going to find Charlie now? Well, of course, Jimmy is sad and he leaves the corral door open because he is born in a barn. And all of the ducks sort of escape. They all like run out of this, corral while Albert and Fred, the lawyer friend that he picked up earlier, are like on their hands and knees barking, trying to get one of the ducks to lay an egg to figure out that it's Charlie, right?
Really awesome.
Well, Charlie ends up following Jimmy back to the car as he's sulking, walking away. He turns around and there's Charlie. Everyone goes, oh, that's great. It's good for everybody. Everyone loves it. We're happy. Never mind that all the other ducks who they've escaped and the farmer is literally yelling at them going, hey, what about my ducks? Are you going to help me or what? He's begging for help. And they all pile into, there's like a river on his property. They all hit the river and you can see them through the scene, just kind of skating down the river. They're gone, dude. They're out of here. They don't care. These people don't care. They're a menace. They're menaces.
Cost him like $800.
Yeah, I know, dude. So while that's happening, these people are on their hands and knees in the dirt on this farm, barking at Charlie in different pitches in order to see if it's really him or her. Spoiler alert, it is. So they figure out that it's the pitch that matters of the dog bark.
Nice.
So after a long conversation between Fred, Albert, and Katie, they figure out each egg is probably worth about $900 bucks, and they could potentially make $100K a day if that duck popped out enough eggs. They all agree that they shouldn't spend any money now, especially when they start selling the eggs because they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know how to deal with all the money.
Yeah.
And, say for paying bills. Katie really doesn't seem to understand, and the next day she sort of proceeds to blow the whole thing up. By the way, $900 in 1971 is about $7,000 today.
Oof.
Yes. Who? Oh, the bank. Well, hi. Bad checks. Well, you printed them. Now, how could a big bank like you have insufficient funds and stay in business?
No, Mrs. Dooley, not us. You. Now, we've explained several times that you cannot write checks for more money than you have in the bank.
You're arrested for that.
Oh, no, please don't do would you just don't call Mr. Dooley because I could get the money somehow. I could, well, could you just hold on the phone just a minute, hold the phone.
So anyway, here's what's happening in this insane house. Apparently, Katie has a history of writing bad checks to the bank because she doesn't understand that she can't write checks for more than they have in the bank. She doesn't understand basic mathematics. This person is unwell. This is an unwell person. And if you made this into a horror movie, she would be the one having a psychological break and then eating, bugs and worms towards the end.
Breaking Jimmy's leg so he can't leave the house.
You need to help your mother. It wild to me. She doesn't get it. And he says multiple times, this has happened more than once. Where are the overdraft fees, man? Like, it's a nice bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My bank would just hit me $25 every time. So anyway, what she does, she rushes around looking for a golden egg. The duck pops one out, and then she's like, I'll be right there. And that's going to solve her problem. So like I said, This is her blowing this whole situation up. Like, instead of calling Albert and be like, hey, I did it again. Goofy me. Brain dead me. Did it again. I don't know what math means. Numbers are weird to me. How am I going to, I need help, right? She goes, I'll fix it. I'm going to do the thing that everyone told me not to do with the thing that's supposed to be a secret that nobody's supposed to know about.
Yeah. She really should be put on like a tether so that she can't leave the house. Like, she can walk around the house, but she can't really get off property.
Right, exactly. Yeah. She takes one of the golden eggs down to the bank and she tries to square up her account, writing a deposit slip for it and everything. Like, she hands it to the teller and he's like, what's this? She goes, it's gold. That's even a deposit slip. You don't recognize your own deposit slip? And he's like, dude, I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to beat you so hard right now. Get out of my bank. Anyway, the manager tells her that they can't do anything with unprocessed gold. And the only thing she can do is take it to a refinery. Okay. Yeah, classically, just they're all
as
over
you
the place.
do.
Yeah. Some groovy traveling music plays, and we find Katie walking out the door of a marked United Refinery with a check in her hands and a goofy smile on her face. Immediately, we cut to her at home looking at her brand new sun hat in the mirror. So clearly, she paid attention to Albert last night. Just as they, wait, there we go. I skipped ad for a second. Albert comes home and confronts Katie about her hat. Just as they are about to crash out, Fred speed walks into the house and tells them that they actually have to sell all of the gold to various refineries around town because they don't have a gold handling license, and they could actually get up to 10 years in prison for hoarding unprocessed gold, which I actually looked and apparently was a thing.
Yeah, we'll cover it. I did want to cover it because it was mentioned in the movie, and I wanted to see if this was a weird fake, like a plot device.
Yeah, that's what I thought
if
too.
this actually had some sort of grounding to it. It turns out it does.
Yeah.
It's very weird too.
Well, the thing you might be, speaking of weird, I think it was at this point, I think it was 1974 also, where women could finally get a checking account in their own name or something like that. Or like credit card in their
3
own name.
years from now.
That's
So
what I mean. Not 74.
Sandy
Yeah,
still has a few years.
So there's still weird things happening. So nothing. You can't put anything past the government of the 1970s. Well,
yeah.
The thing you might be thinking would happen does in fact happen, because Katie takes 2 eggs to the Alco refinery, and as soon as she leaves, the dude gets on the horn to the Treasury Department to report the strange nuggets. They're literally like Cadbury eggs, right? Everywhere she goes, she has a brand new outfit on, so she's clearly going to be the one to bust this whole deal open. Over at the Treasury, the bigwigs are having a meeting to discuss the strange calls they've been getting from all of the refineries across town. And of course, the neighbor Finley is there as well because he works for the Treasury.
According to the phone calls that have been pouring into this U.S. Treasury Department office, this map represents certain refineries that have been receiving these odd gold nuggets. We don't know just who the gang is, but undoubtedly it's an underworld operation, huh? Otherwise, why would they be spreading those nuggets around all those various refineries?
You figure it's mafia control, Chief?
Probably something worse.
Worse?
Gentlemen, they may have learned how to make gold.
Oh, well, that's not very probable. I mean, that can only be done by atomic bombardment, and the cost is prohibitive.
I know that, Hooper. I know that. The point I'm trying to make is that evidently they found a way to make gold cheap enough to put on the market. Our top chemists can't even identify some of the elements, and there are traces of such bizarre impurities as apple pectin.
Apples in gold?
Don't laugh, Hooper. Remember what happened to good old common everyday ordinary bread mold, don't you? Penicillin. But, Mr. Morgan here, the Federal Reserve Bank, has something further to say to us on the subject.
Gentlemen, this thing just cannot happen. I mean, money is the greatest. What we've got to do is we have got to ferret out and stop this nefarious gang of, well, I hesitate to think what would happen if this were to get out of this room.
I don't know. There's a lot again. And this movie was actually hard to like sum up, you know, when I do my thing, because it's like there's a lot going on, and each scene kind of has its own almost like subplot going on. I love the guy from the Federal Reserve Bank. It's like, just money is the greatest, and I'm like, wow, that has never changed. It never will change. It will always be about the money, especially in this country. It will always be about the money.
Yeah.
Who can make more of it?
I'm watching this movie and I'm trying to think about what's going on in the world, like when they made this, because Walt Disney's gone at this point. So it can't necessarily be influenced by his point of view. But the Walt Disney Company themselves definitely had an opinion about the inner workings of the federal government. Most of the time, feds in these movies are overreactive, sweaty, like imbeciles.
Yeah, well, it could be,
right.
They're moving on Disney World at this point. I think Disney World opened 74, 76 or something like that. So
yeah,
they're buying up land. They have to be all covert and whatever. And there's probably a lot of taxes, and they got to make their own little Reedy Creek thing. And so, it could be a lot of that too, where it's like, we all care about money. That's it.
The movie feels very pointed at like anyone in the federal government, especially the IRS, especially the people in the Treasury, that like these guys are all just morons.
I mean, yes, but it could also be a thing you could read into it, anything, right? Because like Roy had the purse strings, and he tried to cancel a lot of projects that Walt did, and then after Walt died, Roy's like, "Hey, let me get my red pin out, bro, and you're done." Museum of the Weird done off the Haunted Mansion. All this done. We're cutting stuff left and right because we gotta save money. So I love this. Also the guy, I forget the guy's name, the head of the treasury. Is he drunk this whole movie? He sounds like super like just loaded.
The main guy. Tell you what. Yeah, he definitely.
This mafia control.
Like, all these guys feel like they break for martini lunch every day.
Oh my God, dude, multiples. So this absurdly long scene actually continues on for days and consists of several heads of states, the stock market, and folks worldwide calling into the Treasury meeting to discuss these rumors of synthetic gold.
Yep.
And of course, the last to call in is the White House. Always the last to the party, man. Wait, there's something going on? Hold on. As the men go over the leads in the case, a list of aliases is read out of the person selling the eggs. Of course, when Katie sold them to the various refineries, she changed her first name sometimes, but just kept her last name all the time, which is Dooley. So, including one time, she called herself Mrs. Albert Dooley. So, they were relatively easy to pin down. Finley leaps up and says, "They're my neighbors." And we cut to Finley spying on Katie doing stuff in the backyard, which is really funny because then like Finley's wife comes home and she's like, Finley, at your age? She's like accusing him of spying on the neighbors, like hot wife. And like, damn, that's funny.
Got a good back.
When Albert comes home, Finley is super nice to him, which sets Albert on edge. He's like, Finley's up to something. He was nice to me. What else do you need to know? Then, as if that weren't enough, Fred rolls up in a very smart-looking yellow sports car, which pisses Albert off. And me too, for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like, Fred, come on, dude, you can't be doing this. But like the other scene, he had a brand new suit, brand new briefcase. Now he rolls up in a sports car that actually Albert wanted to buy. It's a whole thing. And I'm going, this dude rents a room. Where's he getting credit to buy all this stuff from? It's just, I don't know.
And he's had a transformation where he spoke in a normal tone like this. And then when he found out about the gold, all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, Albert baby, don't worry.
Baby. Yeah, Freddie boy is going to get you out of here.
Come on, honey doll, don't worry." So it's a funny arc he's going through.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was definitely good. But it was bad for Fred in the long term because Albert proceeds to tell Fred that the duck will eventually stop laying the golden eggs, but he can't figure out when that will be. He's talking about the radiation half-life. He's like, I don't know how much dose it got or of what, so I can't figure out the half-life. And Fred's like, what's that, baby? If he had a cigar, he'd flick it at him.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean? It's going to stop laying eggs? And that freaks everybody out. Of course, Fred doesn't take it well since he just bought a new suit, new briefcase, new car. Like I said, all while being broke and renting a room at the flop house next door.
Right.
So meanwhile, Jimmy has Charlie the Duck over at the Wadlow's boys' place. Now, I haven't talked about them. They kind of zip in and out literally of this story, but they're the kids who have been racing around the neighborhood in their little chopped up buggy. There's no regard for anybody. They're just, whatever.
Yeah, and they use like modern terminology like, hey, fascist.
Hey, fascist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were giving, like Fred, Albert was harassing him, and he's like, "Hey, man, don't blame us. You guys invented the combustion engine." What is that, dude?
We're not 180 years old. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you doing? Reading Marx? Come on, dude.
Cats.
Charlie walks up to a car battery on a workbench, and he steps on it, and instead of getting electrocuted, she begins to glow. Fred and Albert run up just as the kids start connecting all sorts of electronic things to the duck and having a great old time, like the radio and the horn and all this kind of stuff. So they're using the duck as a battery and everyone's having fun.
Yeah, I didn't understand it, but it was okay.
Yeah. Albert gets a little pissy and he starts to protect the duck over his kid, which is understandable, but also not cool, dude. That is your kid. He's like, we got to get this duck away from them. It's like, but it's your child. What are you doing, dude? They take the duck home and they bark at it to check and see if it still produces, and they find out it indeed does. But while they're doing that, Finley is up a tree spying on them, and he sees the gold come out of the egg. The jig is up. And then also, while Finley is up at the tree, his wife comes out, and all she sees is Sandy Duncan like leaning out the window, getting a breath. I don't know what she was doing. And she's like, she was Finley. Oh, he falls out of the tree. Right. And she calls him a masher.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and masher is just like an old timey word for like men who make unwanted advances on women.
What we call a sex pest now.
Yeah. We call Jeff Goldblum now.
Yes, he's a pest.
Yeah. But I thought it was really good. You masher, and she looks like genuinely hurt.
Masher.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. The next day, Finley lures Jimmy and Charlie over to his house so he can try to get the duck to lay an egg for him. Luckily, Katie sees this happening and grabs the egg before Finley cracks it. But Finley is like, oh, maybe we'll bark. And he barks at it and the duck lays the egg, but Sandy Duncan's there to save the day. So Finley invites his work pals over to his house and makes his presentation to the Treasury dudes. And it goes just about as well as you'd expect.
What he has is this little duck.
You say duck?
Yes, duck.
I got it. Evidently some kind of a new a gangland code word.
No, just plain duck. Quack, quack. And this duck lays gold eggs. It's true. I mean, I saw it happen. They bark at it.
Bark at it?
Yeah, they bark at it like a dog. They bark at it just like it. And that causes the duck to lay these gold eggs.
Hey.
Why, I did it myself.
You laid a gold egg, Cooper?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't easy, but no, I didn't. I barked at it. The duck, it laid the gold egg.
Oh, yes, well, certainly very interesting, Oba. Look, why don't you stop by my office sometime tomorrow and you and me have a little chat?
But, Chief, wait a minute. I know it sounds... You confiscate the duck and I'll prove it.
Hope. How long you been with the department now?
Well, it was after Prohibition, like...
Chief, there may be something to this. I checked with Dr. Gottlieb at the university lab, and he said something about Dooley trying to make gold out of eggs. I thought he was putting me on, but not with what Hooper's telling us.
Aren't those nuggets all about the same size as an egg yolk?
So, stop that.
Anyway, I'm telling you, that guy's drunk.
Yeah. No, they poured him into that chair.
You better go there.
You got this, fella. Nice work.
He's sauced up, dude.
Yeah.
But just as it seems Finley is going to be locked up in an asylum, the other guys pitch in and they tell Rutledge, who's the head drunk guy, that it kind of makes sense. Because I think they were like, wouldn't you say the eggs are the shape of yolk? It's about the size of a yolk. Like, what do you? All right, whatever, dude.
Checks out, Chief.
The White House somehow calls Finley's house and demands that they go get the duck. The whole team heads over, knocks on Albert's door, and hands him a search warrant, somehow obtained in the short walk over from Finley's house. They want to see the duck to confirm the rumors of its gold production capabilities. But Jimmy overhears all the commotion, and he sneaks out of the house with Charlie and flees on his bike. Well, it's actually Finley's bike that Finley bought to lure Jimmy and the duck over to his house. Like, it's a whole thing. But anyway, he's on a bike.
Yeah, that was weird.
Fred, Albert, and Katie pile into Fred's sports car while the Treasury men follow in their state-issued black sedan. After a wacky chase scene involving a washing machine, a garbage truck, a 3-car pileup, and a barking dog, Jimmy and Charlie are finally saved by the Waldo boys in their groovy machine. But it gets weirder from there, folks, because Fred and Katie steal a phone truck, like a PG&E truck, right? With the cherry picker basket on the back. And as they drive by, Katie's like, Albert, jump on. And Fred's not slowing down. He's not going to stop. He's like, I'm going for it.
I need that gold, baby.
Albert jumps on the back. And as he does, Fred accidentally pushes the wrong lever when he's like shifting and fully extends the basket. The whole thing. So Albert's in the basket and they're driving around town. They're, by Griffith Park again, of course. And there's a lot of commotion going on.
Yeah.
The whole thing culminates at the top of a parking garage where the government goons catch up to the duck and confiscate it. And they end up arresting Albert. But don't worry. Our hero gets a trial of his peers in the next scene, which Charlie the Duck was brought in as Exhibit A.
Sorry, gentlemen. Sorry, you can't get in the trial. That's regulation. Sorry.
This is right. Who's spies but a rich duck? Oh, no.
Sorry, gentlemen.
Mr. Hooper, did you actually witness the duck lay a golden egg?
Yes, sir.
Did you make it perform this feat?
I did indeed.
Would you demonstrate it for us, sir?
I'd be happy to.
It's the wrong pitch, isn't it?
Okay. Well, yeah. So that's Finley barking at the duck while the judge leans in, and then Fred goes, "That's the wrong pitch, isn't it?" So what happens here is Albert kind of has a change of heart, I guess, or I don't know what his deal is, but he's like, you know what? If I'm going to go down, I'm going to lose the duck. And if I did something wrong, that's just, I'll take it on the chin. You know what I mean? So he stands up and he's like, nope, all this is true. And he's doing it wrong. And let me do it for him. So he goes over and he goes, all right, Charlie, one more time. Okay, dude. And then he barks at the duck. The duck poops out an egg. Finley gives it to the judge. The judge cracks it into a glass. And there's no gold, just a really milky duck yolk, which I thought was kind of disgusting.
Super gross.
So the half-life has been achieved, Matt, and we're all happy. Why they didn't do this before it was brought to trial, I have no idea. When they confiscated the duck, why didn't they make it? You know, like what? Why now? When it matters the most. But anyway, the judge rules Albert and his family can go free. They can also keep the money that they have earned, provided they pay, income tax on it or whatever. So, they get a few thou out of it too. So on the way into the courthouse, there's a lot of press, there's a big crowd, right? Maybe you heard that in the beginning. As they exit, Albert, Katie, and Jimmy, they walk outside of the courthouse. Albert lifts Jimmy on the shoulder or something like that. The crowd erupts. And as the family descends the stairs, our journey here is at an end. The $1 million duck is no more, ladies and gentlemen.
Normal duck.
Normal duck, yeah. Like I said, there's a lot going on here. The movie was pretty good despite its best efforts to not be. Yeah, it was fun. It's a fun romp through the weird early 70s at the Walt Disney Studios. It was fine. It was good. Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, It had all the earmarks you would expect of a movie of its time. It had it had an animal that was weird. It had a unnecessary 17 car chase where multiple laws were broken, and it's fine.
And no one paid a penalty except just a little bit of taxes on 41 grand or whatever.
Yeah.
Because Finley was like, what about the $41,000 they have over all their various bank accounts? And the judge is like, what are you going to do? It's like, literally, he made a speech. He's like, what are you going to do?
This is America. He's like, these guys are entrepreneurs. What do you want?
What are you going to do, man? Begrudge them from trying to make a buck? Hey, Tony. What are you going to do? We got a duck here that makes the golden schmoozles.
I love it.
It's great. It's like, all right, man, whatever, dude. Everything's wrapped up in a nice bow. But speaking of nice bows, Matt has a very lovely bow on. So we are going to take a quick break. And we're going to come back and we're going to listen to Matt's facts and learn a little bit more about what happened during this movie, who was in it, who helped make it, and anything else he's scrounged up. That's all right.
Yes.
Cool. All right, everyone, hang on. It's the Buena Vista Boys talking about the $1 Million Duck. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Rope from just protecting the duck. We can't take any more chances like that.
This is all academic if Charlie can't produce anymore. Come on now, baby, come on.
We are back, and I'm going to turn it over to Matt. He has now 2 bows in his hair. I don't know what that's about, but hopefully we'll find out. Matt, what's going on?
Well, I like to look my best.
You look good, man.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So this section is called Let's Get This Ducking Over With.
Okay, that's fair.
The $1 Million Duck waddled into theaters June 30th, 1971. It is a play lightly off the Aesop's Fable number 87 in the Perry Index of the goose that laid the golden eggs. And just a brief overview of what that story was there were cottagers who lived in this little town, and they had a goose, and the goose would lay 1 golden egg every single day. The couple who owned the goose thought that there must have been a gigantic piece of gold inside the goose. So they killed it to try to get this giant piece of gold out. And what they ended up doing is killing the goose.
Yeah.
The goose was a totally normal goose, and they ended up ruining their fortune. And that is where we get the whole idea of like, kill not the geese that lays the golden egg, or sometimes just killing the golden goose. It's so.
That's so good, dude. That's such a capitalistic, let's cut out the middleman and kill. It's like just an allegory for like every corporation ever.
Literally cut out the middleman.
Yeah. Or it's just like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to force everybody to work for the lowest wages possible until we go out of business. That's what's going to happen.
And so, yeah, it was a little bit of a play on that. And we hadn't really established that yet in the show. This movie is a gumbo of previous Disney talent. There's multiple faces that we've discussed. So up top is Joe Flynn, who played Finley Hooper. He's that beleaguered Dean Higgins in Computer Wore Tennis Shoes in the Medfield College trilogy. That's just that classic, I'm befuddled. Oh, no.
Like, you laid a golden egg, who put, well, yeah.
No. And
yeah,
then
I think Merlin from The Sword and the Stone, but with less authority.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Then Dean Jones is Albert Dooley. He's coming back from his previous stint of hanging out with an ugly dash hound. He's just in more animal trouble every movie. I noticed his hair in this movie was like real big too. You could tell what year it was by how much hair
Absolutely,
Dean Jones
dude.
had.
Yeah, and I will say, it feels like, and I don't know what it's like to be an actor at this level, you know what I mean? But I feel like he's just more comfortable in his roles because he was phenomenal in this movie.
Yeah.
And I thought he was fine in The Ugly Dachshund, right? Like maybe it was the Sandy Duncan sauce, but yeah, he did a wonderful job in this one.
Yeah, he was very lively. I would have asked them to comb my hair though. I'm like, can someone comb my hair? Like, you're going to do me like this?
You didn't tell me I looked like an idiot.
Yeah. Eagle-eyed fans will notice that Bing Russell, who is an upstanding henchman and father of Kurt Russell from the tennis shoe movies, right?
Mhm.
He's also in this. Like, he plays one of the Treasury agents.
Oh,
he's
that's
sitting
cool.
he's sitting at the table. Yeah.
Nice.
So if you guys remember from Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, he was sort of the second in command to Arno.
Yeah.
And he's had like that big G-Man eraser head. And so, yeah, he had a little small part in this.
Cute.
And Buddy Baker, he returns to do some music, which I think is great. Buddy Baker has supplied music for I don't know how many movies we watch now. And this was directed by Vincent McAveety. And he is a Buena Vista Boys favorite. He did Treasure of Matacumbe.
Mhm.
I think he did the Apple Dumpling Gang. He did some of the Herbie stuff. And his brother, Joseph McAveety, is also a director, but also a producer and writer. And he's actually the one who worked on Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Nice.
But Vincent is the one who ended up with like half of his cast for
From that
like
movie.
some of these other movies.
That's funny.
I think it's an interesting group over there. So the screenplay was written by Roswell Rogers. Awesome name.
Yeah.
Most notable for writing episodes of Father Knows Best. This was his second to last feature film he ever made. His last feature film was called Charlie. This is made right after this. It was called Charlie and the Angel.
Okay.
Also directed by Vincent McAveety.
All right.
Also, character named Charlie. And some white wings. Do we have a theme here? I don't know.
It all comes around, man.
Yeah. The story itself was actually based off a story written by Ted Key, who created, for anybody who remembers, I actually do remember this, but I'm much older than I look. He created the comic strip.
I don't know
Hazel.
about much.
Well, I don't know. I just know all this
I'm
old
kidding.
stuff. Like,
I'm joking.
did you ever read Hazel? I never read Hazel, but I know what it is. It's a comic strip that ran in the Saturday Evening Post up until 1969. And then he also created the characters of Peabody and Sherman from the
Mr.
Bullwinkle
Magoo?
show.
Oh, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Come on, my boy Sherman. The title to this movie, the duck rolling all the eggs around and everything, that was created by Ward Kimball, who subsequently designed the movie poster as well. Ward was one of Walt's legendary 9 old men, the elite core of animators who defined Disney's classic era. Known for his eccentric humor and experimental streak, Kimball was often the studio creative wild card. Oh, what a wild card. To be known as an animator who's a wild card. Ooh. Kimball began his Disney career on Snow White, the studio's first feature-length animated film. He spent months animating an elaborate soup-eating sequence featuring Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a technically complex and character-driven scene. Unfortunately, Walt Disney ultimately cut the entire sequence to tighten the pacing.
Sorry, Ward, it's too boring.
We're out of here.
Yeah, never mind that I could have figured this out, in the storyboarding. It's fine.
Impressed with his talents, Walt promoted Kimball to supervising animator on Pinocchio in 1940 and gave him the crucial task of designing Jiminy Cricket. It took Kimball over a dozen redesigns to find the right balance between realism and personality. He later admitted he hated drawing that oval head. But the character became one of the studio's most enduring icons. Kimball also created and helped shape several other memorable characters. The lively crows in Dumbo. I love those guys. I see a diamond ring. He did the comical Lucifer the cat in Cinderella, and also the mice Jacques and Gus. Gus. And then he also created Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the Mad Hatter, and the Cheshire Cat for Alice in Wonderland.
Damn, dude. No, he's a genius, dude. That guy rocked. Yeah.
I know. In the 1950s, Kimball became a major creative force behind Disney's Tomorrowland and space programming, which helped ignite America's fascination with the space exploration. He wrote and directed 3-hour-long TV specials. So Man in Space, 1955, Man and the Moon, 1955, and Mars and Beyond, 1957. These programs blended live action, animation, and real science, featuring consultation from rocket pioneer Wernher von Braun. They hugely influenced Dwight D. Eisenhower, who requested copies for government use. According to the U.S. National Archives and NASA historians, the Man in Space series helped popularize and legitimize public enthusiasm for space travel, paving the cultural runway for America's eventual space program.
That's right.
Raise it up to Ward Kimball.
We did a whole show on that. It was like how Disney influenced the space race on the Ears Up, podcast. It was a couple of years ago.
A little plug.
Fascinating, dude. Ward Kimball, if I recall correctly, he actually designed Tomorrowland. It was such an afterthought for Walt, where he's
Really?
like, he's like, Tomorrowland was the last land to be developed, and they gave it to Ward because he was like into UFOs and space stuff, and apparently. So here's a little plug. On Patreon, we have a show just for Patreon only for now. I might anyway, whatever. Called The Pyramid, the Eye, the Ears. And it's just about conspiracy theories and the kind of like cool, history stuff. So I'm working on a show for that right now that's sort of based around the fourth movie of that space trilogy that Ward was working on. He wanted to do one on UFOs.
What? Awesome.
Yeah, that would have been the fourth one, but Walt said no, and I'm not going to tell you why. I'm not going to give you the payoff, so you have to subscribe to Patreon whenever it's out and get it. But Ward was an interesting dude. He was also part of the Firehouse 5+2 or whatever.
Yep.
The Dixieland Jazz Band. He got Walt into trains. Like, he's just like, these are those people, right, where we talk about this sometimes. Back then in the 50s, this is the 50s, right? Where you could have these pure Renaissance men where they sit down, they're artists. So they're perfecting their craft. They're taking all these classes. They're honing skills. They're doing stuff. They're getting drunk at lunch. They come back and then they have time to be legitimate jazz trombonists, small train enthusiasts, having dinner with Wernher von Braun. And like, it's just like all this. Anyway, like
they're building new pieces of camera that don't exist because
it's bonkers to me. And like now here we just play Fortnite or whatever. It's just like I don't know, it's so much wasted energy. But anyway, Ward Kimball was a rad dude. So listen to that show, how Disney influenced the space race, because it goes all into that.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I wanted to cover just a few other people, like, because these are people that haven't really been in our BVB purview before. Tony Robert, who played Fred Hines, it was so cool to see him in this movie. He's a fantastic actor with a long career in the movies and in television, and I was genuinely excited to see him in this movie. I didn't know he was in it, and he comes over the hedge and he sits in the car, and I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't know his name personally, but I was like, I've seen this guy so many times, and he's a longtime collaborator with Woody Allen, and he's in Annie Hall, Hannah and Her Sisters, Stardust Memories, Radio Days, and my personal favorite, he's in Play It Again, Sam, and he plays this hilarious character he's Woody Allen's best friend, and Woody Allen is sort of like slowly like getting to know his best friend's wife more and more, and they both have anxiety and stuff, and so they're sort of creating this like affair, but it's not really necessarily like going forward. And the whole time, Tony Robert is like this guy running around and getting on phones, and he's just like, "Yeah, you go. Okay, I'm going to be here for 10 minutes. You can call me in 5 minutes. Yeah, we got okay. Yeah, well, sell it all." And then he runs, and so everywhere he goes, he's just on the phone the entire movie, just making deals. He's just a deal man.
Yeah, nice dude.
And dude, it's so funny, and he's just got that great voice too. He reminds me of was it Don Adams? He sort of has Don Adams' voice from like Inspector Gadget, and Get Smart. Oh, so the $1 Million Duck and the stage screen adaptation of Star Spangled Girl, both in 1971. Star Spangled Girl, also co-starring Sandy Duncan, are his debut feature films. It's kind of funny because I think that Sandy Duncan's debut feature film is also both of these movies.
Oh, nice, dude.
So yeah, so it's weird. Both of them were in both of those films, and they both came out in 71. And I believe this is her real feature film.
That's great.
We'll talk about Sandy Duncan, who played Katie Dooley. The beleaguered Katie Dooley. If you grew up in the 1970s or early 80s, you probably remember a familiar smiling face, bright eyes, short strawberry blonde hair, and a voice as light as air. That's Sandy Duncan, a performer who danced her way into Broadway history, Disney films, and even a couple of Scooby-Doo mysteries. Born in Texas in 1946, Sandy had big dreams from the start. She trained in dance, packed her bags for New York, and hit Broadway with unstoppable charm. Her early breakout came in The Boyfriend, earning her a Tony nomination and the attention of Time magazine, which named her the most promising face of tomorrow.
Whoa. I mean, she was in this movie, she was 25. Is that the math?
I think so.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, she was a young lady.
Yeah.
That promise led her straight to Disney's 1971 The $1 Million Duck, and a few years later she returned for The Cat from Outer Space. Disney also gave her one of her most enduring legacies, the voice of the cunning vixen Pixie in Fox and the Hound, 1981.
Oh, man.
You remember her in Fox and the Hound?
I mean, I remember the Fox and the Hound wore that VHS album, brother. I loved that movie.
That's crazy, man. That people used to absolutely love that movie. And now I haven't seen a reference to Fox and the Hound in probably 25 years, maybe longer.
Well, I can't say that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Clock reset.
Yeah.
But Sandy wasn't just a Disney darling. She was Broadway magic. And though she first played Wendy in Peter Pan, it was 1979's performance as Peter Pan himself that sealed her legend. Flying across the stage with boundless energy, she earned another Tony nomination and proved she was born to play the boy who wouldn't grow up. Her TV journey had its ups and downs. Two sitcoms in the early 70s, Funny Face and The Sandy Duncan Show, were both cut short, partly due to serious health scares where she lost sight in one eye. But true to form, Sandy bounced back and became a household name again in the 1980s with her Wheat Thins commercials, which I remember, and as the new matriarch on the Hogan Family, stepping in for Valerie Harper. And I remember when that happened, I watched the Hogan Family all the time.
Oh, man.
And I remember when they did that, Valerie Harper stepped out, and then she came in as like the aunt. You know, it's just cool, one of those things where it's like, hey, I'm your aunt. Now I'm on the show forever. I'm basically the same character.
Love it.
Yeah. As for animation fans, yes, Sandy Duncan made her mark in Saturday morning TV too. She appeared as herself in both the new Scooby-Doo, 1972, and Guess Who Scooby-Doo, this like many years later, like 2020. And I thought it was funny. The only reason I put this in is because she was in her first feature film in 71. And then by 72, she was playing herself.
Yeah. You
on
gotta
the
be like,
new Scooby-Doo.
Who? Sandy, who?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, it's so funny how quick she must have become some sort of household name, because it's like Scooby and the gang get out of their van and they go, Sandy Duncan.
I mean, maybe that's part of the contract.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, look, we're going to pay the Scooby-Doo dudes to, we're going to put Sandy Duncan here. I mean, because she had, what, 2 Disney movies at that point.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably, I think $1 Million Duck did pretty good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that might be it. I mean, that was back when you got the package deal where, all right, we're going to do a 2-movie deal, plus you're going to get 4 commercials and you're going to get a guest spot on Carson. That's your contract.
Yeah, and I have to go watch this Guess Who Scooby-Doo episode, because I think it's so great that Sandy Duncan is in, like, what is this, like almost like 30 years later. She's in it.
She's still around. We should get her on the show.
Oh, that'd be rad.
Should I interview her?
I would
reach out to Sandy Duncan.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
So, like I said, she did lose sight in her left eye due to a tumor behind her eye, which damaged her optic nerve. But despite rumors, she does not have a glass eye. So she cannot see out of her eye. But I actually kind of remember that going around. That's like crazy, when I finally read this, I was like, that's so weird, because I do remember something about Sandy Duncan having a glass eye. And it was so pervasive. There's actually a punk band called Sandy Duncan's Glass Eye.
Hell yeah, dude.
And even off stage, Sandy's resilience shone bright. She volunteered with organizations supporting the blind and visually impaired, a fitting reflection of her own story of courage. What a gal.
That's crazy.
She is a delight of a person. I also wanted to call out Frank Cadet. He's the assayer. That's his character name. He's the guy who goes, hey, you got this gold here. What is it? A space element to it. I don't know what it is. I licked it and it's tangy. He was a character named Sam Drucker from Petticoat Junction, who then ended up moving over to the spinoff Green Acres. He was on that show a really long time. My man was like a one-off king. He was just in one-offs all the time. Whenever they needed some sort of farmer, some sort of town local, he was in multiple television shows just for, one episode. But I thought this was really interesting. He was in an episode of Hazel in 1964, and it was a live action television show based off Ted Key's comic. Yes, that Ted Key who made the story for this movie.
That's funny.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And The $1 Million Duck was one of 3 films that film critic Gene Siskel walked out on during his professional career.
Really? It's not that bad, dude.
The other 2, this is funny when you compare them to the other 2. The other 2 being 1980 horror film Maniac. I can't remember who's in it. It's what's his name from Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
it's a 1980 horror film.
Anthony
and he
Hopkins?
has yes, Anthony Hopkins, and he has like a little puppet. He has like a little doll.
Okay.
And so he walked out of that, and then he also walked out of the 1996 comedy film Black Sheep.
Wait. With Chris Farley and
Chris
David
Farley's
Spade?
Black
He
Sheep.
walked out of Black Sheep?
I guess so.
Brother.
It wasn't that bad.
No, of course not.
It's all right.
Dork, dude. I think those guys got a little more pomp than they deserve, to be honest with you. They were just 2 dudes.
I looked up an archive of his article that he wrote, and this is kind of just the funniest part to quote. So, by Roger Ebert, July 13th, 1971, Walt Disney's $1 Million Duck is one of the most profoundly stupid movies I've ever seen.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong there.
Comes out hot.
But also, it's not that bad. Come on.
Compared to The Ugly Dash Hound, I think it's fine.
Well, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's all right. It has a plot. It goes somewhere. It's not just a husband gaslighting his wife.
Yeah, dude.
So despite poor reviews for the film, the comedic acting was appreciated at the time. And Sandy Duncan and Dean Jones were nominated for Golden Globes for their performance. Sandy as New Star of the Year.
Whoa.
And Dean as Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture.
Wow.
Musical or comedy. Yeah.
Best performer. I mean, he was good, but
He didn't win.
yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
He just was nominated. So according to
hey, it's an honor just to be nominated, okay?
Sure. Oh yeah. Thank your manager and get off. According to D23.com, the studio held open auditions for the duck role, with Webfoot Waddle winning the part.
Stop.
And the second and third place winners, Carlos and Jennifer, got to be stand-ins. The ducks were given the full Hollywood treatment, their own drinking water pails, lettuce and chicken scratch, plus evenings and weekends free to rest and float in the Disney studio pond.
I love that, dude. That's cool because they did put these ducks through the ringer, man. There's a couple moments where they're like, I think it was Dean Jones. I can't remember. Like, kind of grabs the duck by the neck and shakes it. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Well,
I'm uncomfortable with it.
There's a ton of times where they're like pushing the duck into the ground and everything.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, all right, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah. Let's relax about this, please.
Still a living thing. Like, it's not a pillow dressed like a duck, dude.
Yeah. It's just a duck, man. Okay.
Yeah. So we talked about how Fred came in and was like, you can't hold any gold. You know, you don't have a license for the gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems so stupid that you literally just can't have gold. You can't own gold in America.
You can't hoard gold, unprocessed gold.
Seems so stupid.
As if, but like, who does, like, where did that come from? Who's hoarding just like nuggets that you dig out of the ground? Like, I'm not going to do anything with this. You can't hoard that.
Well, listen, this could be an entire show, so I'm going to do my best to explain, and I'm not going to do a very good job. Everyone's just going to have to go look this up on their own ultimately.
That's fair,
but I'm going to really, because you don't want to hear 45 minutes of like,
of course not. No, I want you to distill it in 20 seconds.
Okay. Well, it's going to take a minute and a half. Okay.
No, minute 28.
It was in fact illegal in 1971 to own gold without a proper government exception. The United States Gold Reserve Act of January 30th, 1934 required that all gold and gold certificates held by the Federal Reserve be surrendered and vetted in the sole title of the United States Department of Treasury. It also prohibited the Treasury and financial institutions from redeeming dollar bills for gold. Established the Exchange Stabilization Fund under control of the Treasury to control the dollar's value without the assistance or approval of the Federal Reserve, and authorized the president to establish the gold value of the dollar by proclamation. So just whatever we think gold is worth. A year earlier, I'm sure that's not true. Somebody right now is pushing up their glasses and going, that is not what that means.
Right.
A year earlier in 1933, Executive Order 6102 had made it a criminal offense for U.S. citizens to own or trade gold anywhere in the world, with exception of some jewelry and collector coins. And so essentially the reason for this is because we were coming out of the Great Depression. And there had to be a consolidation of wealth, I think, to manipulate the currency in being worth something again.
Okay.
And we couldn't leave it to the Federal Reserve to do that. So it was a consolidation of power by the American government. Now you're like, well, when did this turn around? Because clearly we can all own gold now, just as much as we like.
Sure, dude. Costco sells the stuff, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So in 1959 through 1969, administration of the President Charles de Gaulle, and continuing to 1970, France reduced its dollar reserves, exchanging them for gold at the official exchange rate, reducing U.S. economic influence. This, along with the fiscal strain of federal expenditures for the Vietnam War and persistent balance of payment deficits, led U.S. President Richard Nixon, who I think they lampooned in this movie briefly, like, hey, I'm on the phone,
yeah,
to end international convertibility of the US dollar to gold on August 15th, 1971. So essentially he stopped the gold standard.
Okay.
He just said, no more gold standard. We're not doing it. The Gold Reserve Act limitations on private gold ownership were repealed in a rider in the International Development Association Appropriations Act of 1975, signed by President Gerald Ford on August 14th, 1974,
All right.
and effective December 31st, 1974. So that's how we were able to get owning gold back, I guess, a little bit.
All right.
The
Well, that's
International
weird.
Development Association Appropriations Act.
So
and this is why no one cares about the government. This is why no one likes government.
It's one of the reasons, yeah.
Because what even is that? Like, what was that a bill? Like, what is?
I don't know, man.
Where does that play in our world? I have no idea. Couple of things, and then we're done. Just because these are the things I care about, and I spent way too long finding this out, so I better not be wrong.
All right.
Professor Albert Dooley drives a four-door 1957 Ford Custom 300. Ford's slogan in 1957 was "Ahead of all in 57."
Okay. All right. There you go.
Because I really wanted to know, because I said it was a 57 Ford Fairlane, and I was dang close.
Damn, dude.
But there were signs that I was wrong, and I had to look for about 40 minutes, just going back for looking at minute details from the movie and my internet photos.
Love it.
And I did the same thing for the next thing. The car that Professor Albert wants and Fred ultimately buys is a 1969 Intermeccanica Italia Spider.
Damn.
And I looked at the pictures over and over and over again. Pretty hot car.
Yeah,
I think they said they only made like 240 of them.
I mean, it looked like a Lambo. It's like a Lamborghini kind of thing, but it's a two-seater. You know,
Yeah,
like
it was
more of a coupe than anything, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, and that was a good year too, because the years before that and like a couple of years later, they made some mods on it that were gross. Like they put these big plastic covers on the headlights. Disgusting.
That's gross, dude.
Yeah.
All right, I got one thing. I had to do a little bit of math because you know me, I like to convert and see how much inflation has come since these movies came out.
Sure.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but they were saying in the movie that these gold eggs were worth about $900.
Correct.
Right. So back then, in 1971, the price of gold per troy ounce, which is a unit of measurement for gold, I guess, was $40. So by doing math, these were about 22 ounces of gold. That tracks, right?
Yeah.
So right now, the current price of gold per troy ounce is $3,500, making each of these eggs worth about $77,000. Had they just held on to it and not like sold it for a hat, Sandy Duncan, you nerd. Like Albert wanted to build something with this, but everyone had to go buy hats and dresses and suits and cars. You know what I mean?
I know. Think about it, because look at this. If they just would have waited 3 more years, you could have gold again.
I know. That was also really funny too, because when they said that in the movie, I looked it up and like, oh, they're going to be mad in 3 years, brothers.
Yeah.
But
God, yeah, they should have just, they should, I know, well, because they didn't do it because it's a federal crime, I guess, but.
Yeah, well, who cares?
Right? No, I mean, for serious, who cares? Yeah. Honestly, that is a big who cares moment, because if they could scrape up enough money to like have not a PO box, but what is it? Like a safety deposit box. I don't think those are rated.
No, constantly. I mean, it was hard because they were like going to lose their house, right? So they had to do something, but like you square the bills up, and dump those in a safety deposit box. But they didn't think of the half-life at that point. Yeah. They were like, oh, we can make $100K a day with these eggs, and that's going to be, awesome. But at the exact point when they realized, oh, it's just going to end at some point, they should have shut everything down, kept that friggin' thing in the garage, and just keep pumping eggs, put them in a safety deposit box, dude. Hundreds of safety deposit boxes. Let's go. Not said a word. Not said a word to anybody. You know what I mean? And then months later, however long it takes to get to a friggin' jury trial or even to just a court, they would have had, you know, and then 2018 or 2016, buy Bitcoin with it. And then there you go. Generational wealth.
Yeah.
Folks.
I mean, they could have, because I feel like by now, like, is it illegal if let's say you just find a gold nugget, is it illegal to just take that with no documentation to a guy who can smelt it into a bar? Like, do they have to file something with someone to do that?
These are good questions. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea the answers. Yeah. It sounds like there might have been, because immediately that first refinery was on the horn to the Treasury Department. Like, hey, I got some weird gold here. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it was World War II.
But that was in 71. I wonder if 74, they just don't care anymore.
Oh yeah, probably not. Man. Who cares, right? Well, good job, Matt. That was awesome. Yeah, that was a good show. I liked it. I liked the movie. It was a good time. And if you want more good times, go check out our website, earsup-podcast.com, where we have all the shows across the entire network that will satisfy that little craving that you have for the various arms of the octopus that is the Walt Disney Company, like Marvel and the parks and all that kind of fun stuff. So be sure to check us out over there. Matt, thanks, man. I appreciate you very much. The next one is a Halloween one. Unfortunately, it might be out a little bit after Halloween, but that's okay. Escape to Witch Mountain.
Yes.
Which is the original. And then I think maybe after the movies, after this season, Matt, I think we should watch the remake and put it on, do Patreon like we did with the Popeye the Slayer Man for Patreon only.
Well, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. What do you think of that? That'd be fun.
Okay, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay. Escape to Witch Mountain, folks. So go ahead and watch that in the next couple of weeks and, you listen to the show and figure out how wrong we were. All right, Matt, thank you very much. I appreciate you, dude. And then everybody else, thank you very much for listening to the show. Please tell your friends and hit us up on Patreon. Support us at patreon.com/earsup for $5 a month. You get a ton of shows from other shows on our network. You get the secret show. You get the Pyramid Out of the Ears. You get a lot of back catalog stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And it helps keep the light on. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Appreciate it all.
Listen, could I buy some new clothes to wear for this?
Oh, no. No. We mustn't spend the money.